balanced the group. We looked at all opportunities to be able to do that. So we had a plan going in, and we feel like we're a stronger team today, we've balanced out the roster.
Did you? I think one of the things people are talking about, Steve, is you kind of struck at the core by trading Josh Norris. Did you feel like you had to maybe, I don't know if shockwave is the right word, or change the makeup a bit?
I don't think I didn't feel like I had to, Bruce. I think we were looking at, you always go into these opportunities, trade deadline or in the off season to look to, bolster, tweak, take a step with your group. I don't think there was anything that I needed to do to strike the core. That trade in particular with Dylan Cousins coming changes the dynamic a little bit at the center ice position, compared to Josh, and also allows us to go and acquire Fabian Zetterlund. And so that was the plan and the process all along. If we were able to do it, excuse me, it wasn't like I was feeling like I needed to do anything with the group, but opportunity for me to help support the group. They've taken the step. Credit to the players, the coaches, like they've taken the step, and we look at it as a staff, and the scouts did an amazing job of setting it up so where we had these opportunities to add to the group.
Just one last thing, Julian. Did you feel like you had to make this, playoff hockey's tough, and did you feel like you had to be a little harder to play against, and that's what you achieved with a guy like Cousins?
Well, because he's a big body. I mean, I think everybody's seen what he can do now as a player, and we're really excited about the upside as well. But he's a different player in that position. We're extremely excited about where he's at right now, and also within our environment, the potential of growth with him as well.
What was it that you saw though in Cousins that you preferred over Josh Norris?
Well, I think there's some factors on Cousins that we liked for sure. It's not like we don't like Josh Norris. Like Josh he's a great player and a great kid, and and you'll see he's a great teammate by the reaction of his players, and it's hard on me as well. But I still have a job to do to make sure that we can take steps with this group. But a bigger body down the middle of the ice with Dylan Cousins and the potential upside with him.
In Dylan Cousins and Fabian Zetterlund, you added guys who have shown that they can produce at 5-on-5. How much of that played into your plan today? One
of the key factors on my board as we were leading into the deadline, if we could help the 5-on-5 scoring. It was, we look at we have a good team. I think we have a very good team that's continually learned how to win. They've gone through, some ups and downs this year, but they continue to show that they're making progress. We've talked about 5-on-5 scoring, and those two players in particular should help in that regard.
Obviously, your job as GM is to make your team better every chance you get. But in Josh Norris, obviously, he had so many personal relationships with guys like Brady and Drake, and obviously they've been pretty emotional with us today. Of course, again, doing everything you can to make the team better. How much does the personal side play into thinking about making a move with Josh Norris?
Ultimately, it can't affect my decision, but it was really hard on me. Like, I love Josh Norris. I love him as a kid. I love him as a player. He's a great teammate, and so these are very difficult decisions. And sure, I take time to think about how it's going to affect the group, but in my position, I can't let that get in the way of trying to make our team better. That's really what it comes down to. But certainly, we're going to miss Josh. He's like I said, he's a joy to be around. He's a great kid and a good hockey player. But again, we feel like if I let those emotions get in the way of making these decisions, I'm not doing my job.
Maybe without the emotions, but how much in your mind does chemistry play a part in terms of a team dynamic and winning? Obviously trading Josh, as Julian
For sure, team dynamic. Like it's not, but we're also bringing in a very high character, player in Dylan Cousins, and so it's not. It'll be different, but I'm sure it won't take long for the culture we're building here is exactly what you saw today. Our players care about each other. The manager cares about the players. The coaches, it's. You may have noticed it's different here, and that's something to be proud of. Makes these days and these decisions harder, but I'd rather have that type of emotion on these types of days because we know the bond that is being built here, and that comes with winning too. So today, I think, as hard as it is on some of these days with emotions, I think it's a great sign for our organization. And you see our captain and his teammates, they care about each other. And you can't win consistently in this league and get to where we want to get to without that.
If you're able to, can you go into the timeline on how long you were thinking about making this Dylan Cousins trade? I think when you spoke with Jackson earlier, you had mentioned you had thought about it for a while.
Well, we always look at good players, and Dylan Cousins is a terrific young player, and we feel just entering into his prime as well. So, I think to answer the question, you're probably thinking about it all the time, not as specifically as we do come to trade deadline time, but it's again, you look at areas of improvement for your team, 5-on-5 scoring, certain things, a little more toughness. You talk about toughness in Dennis Gilbert's as well, in balancing out the defense. Jacob Bernard-Docker, another good player for us on the right side. Matt and Paolo, has played well. You look for those types of opportunities.
So, like in the last week or in the last how many days, figure out when exactly
on Cousins specifically.
Yes.
Oh, I think it was probably longer than that when you kind of every manager's a little bit different on the timeline depending on how your team's doing. There's teams that struggle out of the gate and you have conversations about their players because they're maybe looking to make an early move. So this one's I think been brewing for a while.
Josh Norris was a top 6 center. Do you expect that Dylan will also be in that top 6 role?
I think that'll be up to up to Travis and how it all plays out, and up to his play as well. And Shane Pinto's taken another step as well. And so we have the benefit of depth through the middle, and it's an important position. And we feel good about having Dylan join that group.
Will they play tomorrow? Will they play tomorrow?
Dylan and Dennis are available for tomorrow, and we're just trying to see if we can get Fabian in on time.
Can you talk about Fabian as a player and what he will add to the team?
Well, he's a player that goes to the tough areas of the ice. He's a strong kid. He's hard on pucks. He can really shoot it as well. He's got a good motor on him, extremely fit, high character, low maintenance player, and at a really good age to come into our group. We could use another shooter up front. I think that he's a threat at 5-on-5, and as you see, not just in the regular season, but into playoff hockey, which we hope to be pushed to get into, is that area of the ice is important, especially defensively as well, but offensively you need to get to those areas, and he doesn't think twice about going there.
Wait, no. Sorry, when do you're not sure about Fabian stepping into the lineup. Do you envision that when's even going to get here?
Good question. Yeah, we're still working through that. Yeah.
When did that deal come to place? Because that one seemed like was that a very last minute decision on your part? How did that come to place?
Well, no, there's plenty of discussion in and around him, but to be specific, I think the deal came through Pooley about 27 seconds under the clock. Yeah, so 27 seconds, I think somebody had said. Yeah, so no, it wasn't like we just started talking about Fabian. We had talked about him and inquired about him earlier on, and we're finally able to work out a deal.
Looking at the big picture of today, you said you feel like you're a better team, which is obviously what the goal is, but how happy are you with some of these moves and how they came together, how you orchestrated it?
Well, it was a completely different deadline than it was last year, not just because of where we are as a group, but also just in our process. We had a good plan going in, and it's an inclusive room, with my pro scouts and my staff, and big thank you to them, because really it is hard to make. There's lots of trades that go on, but each one of them is challenging. So, but yeah, it was the process. I think is continuing to evolve with our group, but yeah, we were able to accomplish a lot of what we wanted to do.
As you digest what's happened today, I know last year a lot of the seeds were planted for Venus Ullmark to come in the summer. Do you feel like you had conversations that could lead to things that we see down the road?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I can't honestly. Right now, I can't even think of what they might be. We're happy with what we accomplished today, but yeah, certainly, I think you learn a lot about your team as you go through this, and you learn a lot about other teams as well and the direction that they're looking to go.
How much do you value size and hitting capability, like Dylan Cousins, Zetterman? Like now I think they're your second and third highest hitters on the team now. Like how much do you value that in a player?
I think it's an important component. I mean, along with many other things, but certainly, I think if you have the willingness to go into those areas and the size and strength, it does make a difference. We look at all factors, but yeah, do I feel like we're a harder team to play against now? Yeah, I do. I mean, we're both Cousins and Zetterlund are hard on pucks. Gilbert's a big, strong guy. Yeah, I feel like I think we've taken a step.
When did you go from thinking this might be a quiet deadline to thinking like I might be able to make a couple of significant moves here? Was it this morning or in the last couple of days? Or
There's certainly, there's some ebbs and flows to any one of these deadlines as the week goes on. Yesterday, to answer your question, probably early this morning. I thought yesterday was an interesting day where we felt like we were in on some things, and those went away. And then this morning, it got going pretty quickly.
Question not related to the deadline, but what have you seen from Tim Souza that gives you confidence that he's ready to lead this team into a playoff spot and lead this team in the playoffs also?
Well, I think with Tim, but also with all of our players, like they've all taken a step in maturity. Their understanding of the responsibility away from the puck has really grown for all of them, including Tim. Like, you can just see the determination on the other side of the puck. He's got world-class talent and skill, and when he has the puck, can make things happen. But I think the way he's getting the puck now and where he's going to get the puck and how he's defending has elevated his personal game is elevated, but also I think the whole team has. But he's certainly taken a step, and you can see the willingness to win. Like you really see it drawn out of these players now as they're getting more comfortable and more experienced in our league.
We've heard about Damien Zetterlund and his agent talking about how contract discussions didn't really come to fruition in San Jose. Obviously, he's an RFA. Was that part of the calculus in terms of trying to sign him to a long-term deal after?
Haven't gotten there with him on that. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for your patience.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you so much
Okay.
for your patience, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. All good.
Later on.
How long were you with?